feeling awkward. That's fine. No, that's okay. Do I need one? Oh, okay, I'll borrow yours later. Mm. Yeah. Now I got one. I'm in my 40s. Why would I have a pen? Call this meeting to order. Thank you, everyone, for joining us today for Committee of the Whole on October 15th at 4:30. Slightly thereafter. Apologize for the technical issues, but I think we're good and ready to go now. So just disclose your pecuniary interest and the general nature thereof. If there's any conflicts to declare, please declare it at the time that it arises and bring it to Council's attention. So first on the agenda, we've got a delegation from the Pictograph Gallery. And I see they're here. So have you done this before? Is this a new thing?
I have.
Perfect.
Just once, when I brought this.
Oh, you got to turn your mic on. Sorry. It's the red dot there. Perfect. There we go.
Yes, I did bring this. I brought the proposal forward a few months ago, and I just thought I'd give you guys a quick little report on sort of how it went. I have some paper copies here if anyone would be interested. I'm sorry I forgot to send email copies to you guys.
No worries.
In advance. So basically, Pictograph got access to the tour center on July 17th. Things were kind of delayed, first because we didn't talk to you guys until in June. By the time we sort of figured out when to do this and whether this was a good idea or not. And I guess there were some issues with the center, with the pipes and stuff like that. There were some freezing issues, so some pipes had to be fixed. So it took a little while for us to be able to get in there. We entered on the 17th, but it was kind of messy, and there were some significant issues with where mice had gotten in and stuff. So we cleaned it up we had some fairly intensive cleaning and preparation over the next few days. We got rid of old, outdated flyers, things that were contaminated from the mice. We cleaned inside and outside of the building, shampooed the carpet, created signs, and removed, all sorts of material that was outside as well. We opened the doors on July 24th, 2024, and we were open from Wednesday through Saturday, 11 to 3. We were able to manage those shifts, and we had enough volunteers and board members to cover everything. We had local artists and crafters brought us items out to the tourist center for consignment, and Pictograph also purchased items to sell as well. We had shirts and hoodies, art cards, books, paintings, fudge, handmade washcloths, and among the consignment items. And we made more than $540 in sales for the Pictograph and the vendors that we worked with. And we were pretty happy with that, considering it was a fairly short amount of time. Our statistics, we were open for a total of 96 hours. The number of visitors was more than 400, and that works out to about 1 every 15 minutes. Our visitor info broke down to about 10% locals who wanted to come and see what kind of stuff we had for sale and what it looked like inside the tourist center. 8% were out of province, 13% out of country, 20% were just passing right through, and 18% were specifically visiting Atikokan. The rest of them didn't really tell us. Not everyone was chatty and wanted to let us know. The main reason, the notable information that we had was that most visitors wanted a rest stop for obvious reasons. Many just stopped to let their dogs out, and those people that were there with their dogs rarely seemed to come inside. We thought if there was some advertising for restaurants, food stores, gas stations and stuff out there from people in the town, maybe in future, that would be really great. I think that could help get more people to come into our town, and it also lets people know that there's stuff going on where we are. The guests that we had commented that they were happy to see that the tourist center was open. And there are some, you know, we thought that there would be some other options that might be reasonable, but you know, I understand that there are some concerns with it as well. Comments, we got a lot of really good comments. We are looking forward to 2025 if the town is open to having us there again. And some of the things that we thought would be really useful, we had talked about it this year, but just did not have the time. One was a fresh coat of paint out there for the ramps and the stairs. And the volunteers are willing to do this if the town will provide us with the paint next year. We would love to have more permanent professional open and close signs. That would be helpful. And we would be happy to provide the design and arrange ordering materials as necessary if, you know, working with the town on cost and appropriate design. Basically, I just want to say thanks to everyone who helped us, Atticoke and Progress, the library and the museum for assistance creating our signs and stuff. They were really super. Thanks to the town and all the guys who came out and helped us with shrub trimming and maintenance, and to the Basque Classic people for providing us with some paper towels, bathroom tissue, and stuff like that that we needed. And again, my thanks to the town council for allowing us to work to do this, and we really appreciated the opportunity that you guys gave us. I don't know if anybody has any questions.
Do we have any questions from council? Oh, Councillor Johnson?
Thank you, Acting Mayor Knowles. I just want to take this opportunity to thank you folks for taking that over and making it look like the town, make it more like the town is open. And I hope that council does give you the okay to do it again next year. But thank you very much for your interest in keeping that place open.
Thank you.
Appreciate it very much.
Thank you. Jason?
Yeah, so as per council's direction, right, we did work with the Pictograph Gallery, and I think it was successful. And like I said, the first year you always have to kind of work out the kinks, but I think we did that, and it was a great partnership. As we embark on our service delivery review, organizational review, I think this is certainly one of those topics for discussion, and we'll make sure that we kind of flush that out about what those options are, and then hopefully reach back to the gallery with good news for next year.
Awesome. Thank you very much.
Councillor Simpson?
Is there a porta potty out there at all in summertime?
There is not.
There's nothing there.
There is not. We have washrooms inside the building.
You do?
Yeah, and when we're open, those are available and quite frequently used. But we do not have anything for off hours or off season.
In a way, that might be a good idea. People have to come into town to use the facilities if they want, I guess. As long as there's something in the summertime, that's fine.
Yeah. I think that, you know, some people are willing to come into town, but not everyone is willing, obviously. Yeah.
Might be an idea for a porta potty out there next year.
Historically, we've done that, and we've had to remove it because it was unsuccessful in the sense that it was a mess. So, yeah, a porta potty does not work out there, quite honestly. History has proven.
Councillor Martin?
No.
Please.
Okay. If there was a porta potty there, do you think your volunteers would clean it? If we supplied them, would that be something you would consider, or you'd have to talk to your group?
I would have to talk to the group. I don't see why they wouldn't. However, if there was some major contamination, I'm not sure what we could, you know, I mean, we're just.
Yep, no, I get it. I think a porta potty is a great idea out there, and I'd like to see that happen. Thank you.
Yeah, basic cleaning I don't see any issue with, but if there was significant problems, which is, I guess, part of the reason why it was not continued out there, that might be more of an issue.
Great. Any other questions from council? All right. Hearing none, thank you, Stacy, so much. And I just want to echo everyone's sentiment that it seemed like it was a big success, and appreciate the volunteer efforts that went out there to making that a reality this year. We seem to get a lot of great traffic coming along the highway as more and more comes back to normal, and we get more and more traffic down the highway. So having that open and trying to divert people into town's a great opportunity. So appreciate it, and hopefully we can make it work moving forward. Thank you. Moving on. Everybody's favorite. Let's talk finance. So, R&E, period ending September 30th, 2024. And I would assume this is you, Brandy?
Yes, so this is at the end of September. So we have a few budget lines that are over, but nothing that isn't justifiable or recoverable or significant enough that I have any concerns about. If anybody has any questions.
Any questions from council? Seeing none, move on to number 2, easement agreements with Hydro One. This is you, Jason?
Yeah, so in your package, you'll see the report and just kind of some backstory regarding that. So as we all know, the Waasigan transmission line project is a go, and a lot of the work has been happening in the background, getting ready for the project to come through our area. And one of those initiatives is the regarding of permanent easements for the line. For the most part, it is following the existing lines that are out there. We have 7 specific properties that the town owns that will be impacted by the easement. And I can tell you that Hydro One has really done their homework in regards to these offers. Each property, like I said in the report, has multiple reports. They've had professionals in. Everything they do is kind of backed up by the numbers and justified. So it's a great offer. We see no issues regarding the location of the easements on our land, and like I asked, and it was responded that Hydro One's first offer is their best offer, and as you can see, the financial impact for the town is just under $267,000 for these easements, and the map is included, and happy to take any questions.
Great. Any questions? Councillor Simpson?
Thank you, Acting Mayor Knowles. Yeah, I don't know about
Mic on,
anybody
please.
else, but no, it's on. I don't know about anybody else, but I found them maps that are here, I found them totally useless. It didn't, I'm all in favor of the project, but these maps didn't help me at all to figure out where, or I don't know. And I talked to another councilor, and that councilor was having trouble with them too. It doesn't really matter to me where they are. It's obviously not on land where there's a house or anything. So, but maybe next time they send us some maps, have some kind of points of reference so that I can see exactly where it is. I couldn't figure these out. I really couldn't.
Yeah, so I just tried to, so that was part of the specific packages. If you go to their website, Hydro One's website, they have a plethora of information on there, including all their maps, which you would be able to kind of reference, right? So, yeah, just just attach the maps that were included in each package to there for reference. So, but they are all town-owned properties, and like you said, they're not interfering with any sort of infrastructure or private residence or even town facilities.
Yeah, there was one that had a bunch of rating on it, which is great. But yeah, okay, that's all I wanted to say. Thank you.
Great. Councillor Shine, did you have a question?
The same question.
Oh.
We should be able to get the answers at the open house as well, right? We should
Yep,
be able
correct.
to see the better understanding.
And I can try and find a better map that is better reference for you, and I can send it off.
When you're driving on 622, some of it's on The left-hand side?
Most of it you're not going to see. Yeah, it's deep within, on the west side of 622, yeah.
Guess that right.
Councilor Martin?
Thank you, Acting Mayor Knowles. Jason, did you say that their first offer is always their best offer? Did I hear that right?
Correct, yes. So I did pose the question regarding, because they've already done phase one and they've had the negotiations with a lot of people closer to Shunya in between us and like, you know, what do you do with the holdouts and that sort of stuff, right? So they, yeah, their first offer is always their
Do other communities, have you reached out to any of that? I mean, there's probably a lot of communities.
Each one's going to be specific, right? So it is based on the land value. So in comparison to, say, a municipally owned property in Shunya, probably you wouldn't be able to compare.
No, I just wondered if they accepted, if everyone else accepted the first offer.
Again, I think that
Okay.
$266,000 for permanent easements on these lands is good stuff for sure.
It seems kind of low, but okay.
Thank you. Any other questions from council? Councilor Simpson?
Yes, thank you, Acting Mayor Knowles. All I see is town will receive $8,177 compensation.
You're looking at the wrong report, Councillor Simpson. It's the wrong report. That's the next item.
Isn't Bill, okay. Where's the, I thought that would be the report to council from easement agreement.
There's two.
Okay, and Valard's just a company that's doing it then?
That's the second item that I'll speak
Okay,
to
all
after
right.
this item.
I got it now, thank you.
Thank you. Councilor McQuaid, did you have a question? Or? Oh. Well, in hopes of not spoiling it, then we'll move on to the next one. When we get there, are we going to be looking at a resolution then for for following this to that effect to put the recommendation, or are we looking at something further down the line?
October 28th, I believe.
Next
Yeah,
council
so the council meeting of October 28th will be having bylaws will be brought forward.
Okay. So if there's a need for additional information or folks to hop on Hydro's site, then maybe we can get that information out so everyone can come with ready to make an informed decision at the next meeting. Thank you. So moving on to the easement agreement with Valard Construction LP.
Yep. So actually, I guess we could have had this one in front of that. So Hydro One's agreement are permanent easements, obviously, for the transmission line. Valard is requesting temporary access to these lands. So they are the same 7 properties. Valard does a different sort of mathematical calculation in regards to the value for these, again, temporary access points. And this methodology is used throughout phase 1 and phase 2 for the amounts. So significantly less dollar-wise, but certainly needed to facilitate the project that is going through our community. So I guess, Councillor Simpson, if you look at these maps, again, they're similar, might give you better points of reference, possibly, but it's the same properties.
Great. Are there any questions from council? I just had one. So does this essentially mean things are kind of like they can't move the project forward until we kind of bless these easements to go through? Is that where it's at now?
So I mean, everything's kind of happening at once, right? So they're moving forward on construction phase 1 and getting the groundwork ready for phase 2. And as they're moving along, so these discussions have already happened for them with municipalities, between Shunya and Atikokan. Yeah.
Okay, great. So as I said before, just let's come ready to make some decisions then at our next council meeting. Moving on, Public Works, Airport Waste Management, number 1, 2024 fleet purchases. Excellent. Thanks, Dave.
Pretty straightforward for this one. As you guys recall, we had a couple half tons in the 2024 budget. We've been kind of searching high and low for ideally something a couple years old, low mileage, fleet white. We finally came across two that fit the bill well, low kilometers. They're conveniently in Thunder Bay, so we're just looking to finalize that.
Great. Any questions from council? Councillor Johnson?
Do we get a full warranty on these vehicles, Tyler?
I think these are like a 2-year warranty because they're used, right? So we don't get the full warranty anymore.
Any other questions? Everybody's quiet today. Moving on, community services. Number 1, LFRC roof repair RFP. Who's speaking to that one?
Speak to it.
Okay,
So,
thanks, Jason.
Tom, unfortunately, is unable to attend today. So as you're aware, we did receive the ISIP grant in regards to the roof repairs at Little Falls. There was a bunch of work done earlier in this program, and then basically kind of finishing out the remainder of the grant, and found some more areas that needed to be fixed on top of the LFRC, did an RFP, and recommending awarding the project to Lakehead Roofing. I will try to answer any questions that.
Any questions? Brandy?
Just a clarification, so when the resolution is going to go to the next council meeting, but the resolution doesn't match the report, just because we have almost $50,000 left in grant funding, and the RFPs came in low, so we are going to spend the rest of the money on roof repairs. So the resolution says up to $50,000.
Any questions from council? Councilor Martin?
Thank you, Acting Mayor Knowles. How much of are they doing the whole roof, Jason, or how much of the roof's getting?
No, specifically, I don't know the square footage of that. There was not enough money in the grant to do the entire roof. The phase 1 concentrated on kind of above the restaurant, if you will. This part is just going a little bit beyond for some problem areas, but not the entire roof. Just didn't have enough money.
Are they reskinning it or just?
I believe it's a PDM product.
Okay, yeah, okay.
Thank you. Any further questions? Okay, moving on. Number 2, Berg Industrial Service Inc. Agreement. Jason?
Okay, I'll speak to that one again. So as you will recall, Berg Chilling, they do have our service agreement to provide, I guess you would say, support or maintenance on the arena and the curling rink ice making systems. And this is simply a recommendation to renew their agreement. We're quite happy with the service that they are providing, and looking to enter into a new 3-year contract with them.
Thank you. Any questions? Hearing none, we'll have a resolution then for that at the next meeting. Great, thank you. Then the last thing on the agenda is to move in camera. No?
Other business.
Oh, well, aren't I blind? Yes, other business, RRDMA Annual General Meeting.
Okay, so as everyone knows, we are part of the Rainy River District Municipal Association region, if you will. We're the most easterly community in that. There are meetings held throughout, I think quarterly meetings throughout the year, with their annual general meeting being held, I believe it's usually the second weekend of January of every year. And the hosting of that AGM does kind of go around to all the different municipalities. It was held in Atikokan many years ago, and I think they had it at the Legion. That was before my time. So in regards to that, and again, keep in mind the time change for most residents in the district coming here. For us, we kind of gain an hour, so it's easy for us to kind of get up early in the morning and get to whether it be Emo, Fort Francis, or Devlin, or wherever, to attend the meeting. It's a one-day AGM, and Again, we want to obviously do our part and host the AGM when it's our opportunity. We did, Mayor Ferguson brought forward at the last meeting the option of the Atikokan hosting the AGM, but hosting it in Fort Francis as a more centralized location. Their ED does a lot of the planning work, and I'm sure the town of Fort Francis would allow us the use of one of their facilities. So the rest of the information is in the report, and happy to answer any questions. And then again, like I said, under the recommendations, my only request is maybe keep your calendars clear for that weekend if possible. If the town, if Atikokan is going to host it, it would be nice to have full representation from mayor and council at that event.
Councillor Simpson.
Thank you, Acting Mayor. Oh, gee. To me, it's sad that I can understand the time change in that, but it seems sad that we fund something that the town of Atikokan is not going to get anything from. Like, you know, the local hotels don't make any money here, or the stores. Everything's going to Fort Francis. I can understand why you're doing it, but it just doesn't seem right to be paying our tax dollars to Fort Francis.
Yeah, the issue becomes availability of rooms. I know the last time it came up for us, one of the hotels wasn't open. Now they're both open, but again, I mean, we can host it here. The concern might be lower attendance. Yeah, because for us it's a day trip, right? For them it'll all be an overnight stay, and certainly I bet you I would assume the attendance is going to be a lot lower, but it's council's decision, certainly.
Councillor McQuay.
Thanks, Charles. I get it. I get the travel thing, and especially winter. I think that for now it's a good idea to host it in Fort Francis. However, I think that it would make more sense for everybody to not have to travel in January, and maybe we talk to the RRDMA and say, hey, our time changes in March. Why don't we push it to spring while weather isn't as crappy, and then everybody has an equal opportunity to benefit from it.
Yeah, certainly, I agree with you. I think traveling, probably the coldest part of the year is not ideal. I feel like there's a reason why, but I certainly will reach out to Peggy and get information if that is an opportunity, or maybe at this year's AGM, maybe a motion put forward to try and move the AGM. I think it has something to do, with everyone's AGMs and then NOMA's, because NOMA's always in April as well. So, but I will certainly bring that forward. Yeah.
Councillor Martin.
Thank you, Acting Mayor Knowles. How many people typically attend these? Do you know, Jason?
Yeah, it depends. I mean, you can have upwards of 130 people, 120 people. It's not, and then I guess as a note, I should add, I believe Soon Arrows and Berglund, I think, just joined. And again, for us to go to Berglund, I think it would be like a 7-hour trip, round trip. So I not just Atikokan. I believe that, if it's Berglund or Soon Arrows, whatever, I believe that they should also host it in Fort Francis, just so that we're not spending 7 hours traveling or getting a hotel and overnight as well. So this isn't just an Atikokan issue. I believe it's the further you go away from that centralized location, these are the problems mixed in with the weather, right? Yeah.
It's not Thunder Bay doesn't participate in this? Or?
They have their own league, so this is just a Rainy River sort of.
Okay.
Right? Yeah.
Okay, thank you.
Any other questions from council? Yeah, it's really, it's too bad. I know when we did it in EMA, we also had to stay overnight in Fort Francis, and that just adds on to the costs and the travel and everything. So it does seem to be an issue in any communities outside of somewhere they can hold on to that many people. It's too bad they can't line something up with NOMA, since people are at NOMA as well. So maybe that's something they can consider in future.
Yeah, no, just one final comment. These AGMs are good, right? Because not everyone can go to Roma, not everyone can go to AMO, and these are. I know they work very hard to bring in speakers, and from a regional lens, I think that they are good. But again, I'll bring the comments forward.
Yeah, it's a good AGM if you have a chance to attend. Great. When do we need to have some sort of resolution on that? I assume since January is coming up sooner than later.
More just a general direction of council would suffice, that as long as there's a consensus, I can reach out to Peggy and let her know so they can start planning it.
Okay. Do we have some sort of consensus here today or on that direction, or is that something maybe we need to take back for next meeting? What's council's sentiment on that? Councilor Martin?
I wonder if there's availability at the hotels. If there's no availability, then that kind of, or if there's nowhere to host this thing with that, to feed that many people, and if that's not logistically possible, then I guess that option is, you know, Fort Frances will be the option. I don't know if somebody wants to look into that or how that would work, or.
The problem, it would be tough to book a block of rooms. So, and again, with, I think, Waskin firing up, I don't know, quite honestly. And other than if we had to put some sort of deposit down to secure a block of rooms, and again, I don't know what the numbers would be. It would be difficult to kind of assure that there would be availability in January. Yeah.
Great. Okay, well, not hearing anything else from out in council, then maybe we'll table this then to the next meeting, and if people have sentiment then, or strong feelings one way or the other, send that out in an email.
Okay, thank you.
I'm fine with hosting it in a larger venue. I know doing a lot of event planning myself, the accommodations are difficult enough, but adding on the logistics of food services and that, and I know even the year I went to it in Emo, it was a challenge getting them to be able to bring the food there. And I think the Legion was catering most of the food, so that becomes its own volunteer challenge. Councillor Simpson?
How many people usually attend that?
Yeah.
I can remember the one in the fort, the last one there that I went to. There
Yeah,
was
like
quite a
Councilor
few, eh?
Martin just asked, around 120, 130. But again, that's in a centralized location. The further out you go, I have no idea what those numbers would be.
Just thinking, Councillor Shine just mentioned to me, do we wonder if we have enough rooms available, even if they were all open?
Right.
And I don't think we do, because nowadays, you don't bunk two people in a room. They usually, for privacy, it's usually one person to a room, so we probably wouldn't have enough to do that, I guess. Yeah. So it's a good idea, I guess.
Is everybody in agreement with that? Okay. Yeah, I think we're good with that direction. Regretfully, but that's, you know, that.
I will bring forward the dates, and maybe if we can do it in the summer or something like that, maybe there'd be more uptake. Thank you.
Great, thanks. Okay, now we can do what I wanted to do originally, which is go in camera. So I have a resolution moved by Councillor Johnson, seconded by Councillor Martin. Resolve that council proceed in camera in order to address a matter pertaining to personal matters about an identifiable individual, including municipal or local board employees. Do I need to do a vote on that? All in favor? All opposed? Carried. Meeting in a couple of minutes.